Hello everyone, I'm Marine Lefort, I'm a freelance publisher and you listen to Les Voix de la Photo. Les Voix de la Photo is the podcast that gives voice to professionals in the photo and image industry to reveal their journeys, their successes, sometimes their setbacks, and give us some advice along the way. Today this episode is in English because I'm in Milan with Emanuele Amighetti and I do not speak Italian. Hello Emanuele.
Hi.
You are a Milan-based art director and photography curator focused on contemporary visual culture with an interdisciplinary and cross-cultural approach.
Yeah, more or less.
You conceive, commission and direct a vast range of projects that go from branding to publishing in collaboration with both emerging and worldwide known photographers, filmmakers and stylists. Since 2019, you have been in charge of visual strategy at Esquire together with Studio Temp. And from 2021 to 2023, you were creative director of the magazine. And you are also the co-author of Confine by Delicious edition, published in 2018.
Yeah.
To start our conversation, could you tell us about your early influences? Did you grow up with family or friends who share a passion for the arts? Yes. And where did you grow up?
Yeah, it was like my family, they did a normal job in life, but they have...
What did they do?
They work in a bank, both of them, and they met them. And yeah, but they have different passions. So my father was really into music and my mom into literature. So I was surrounded by this kind of environment. And it was super interesting for me to learn from them and to be supported. And yeah, and then I find my place in the world with the work I do. And yeah, my early influences were, I don't know, like punk music, hardcore music, and posters, political propaganda, like every visual input I could find near me. And
so political, like?
Yeah, also. Like the visual thing of the political propaganda, the posters, the slogans, it's something that I brought with me in my journey in art direction and yeah, this kind of thing.
And where did you grow up?
In Como, where there's a lake. Now it's worldwide famous, but when I grew up it was an unknown place. But I was lucky enough because it's like less than 1 hour from Milan. So since I don't know, like a young age, I got to Milan and yeah, concerts and everything here.
And did you know what you wanted to be when you from the young age?
Not at the beginning, because it was actually I decided to study from the young age classical studies, which means Greek, Latin, philosophy, and all these kind of things. I got a lot of into philosophy, culture, arts by my side, but then I started my academic journey in Middle Eastern languages. Then I had the chance to travel to Iran and different places in the Middle East, and then I was like surrounded by this kind of and embraced by this kind of culture, a different culture from ours. And yeah, so I didn't know at the beginning what I wanted to be. I thought I would be a professor maybe, which in some way I still am because I teach photography as well. But yeah, it was like a decision that came by time. It was not like I want to be a photographer or an art director or something else. It was taking time.
And what initially drew you to the photography industry?
Yeah, it was like a super important encounter for me because while I was studying, I had this professor and we became like intimate friends in a way. And he studied a lot like about Farsi culture and literature again. But he has these two sides, one academic profile and one like an artist profile. And so once he told me, for real, I wanted to be a director, a film director. And at that time, like seeing a person who had a huge career in university telling me I wanted to be an artist, changed something in my life, in my journey, and I wanted to become more or less an artist myself as well. And so I decided to go into photography. I needed to study a lot because I was like a self-taught photographer. So I studied, I did a lot of research on other photographers, the work, the history of photography, and exhibitions, museum, institutions, and everything. And then I started as a photographer at the beginning.
And at this time, you were working for the press as a photographer?
It was about documentary photography, which in a way I connected to my background, to my studies. So I went to Caucasus. I wanted to travel. I wanted to know. I wanted to discover. I wanted to being able to tell stories of unknown people or less known people, like marginalized communities and all these kind of things. And I started to work with press in a way. I went to the US for the Eddie Adams workshop at the beginning. And I started to work with American press, also French press. And but at some point, something changed.
So, can we speak about this moment? Like how did you transition from being a photographer to a creative and art director?
It was a lot of things, but if I can summarize them in few words, it's as much as I was doing research for my projects. When I saw my pictures, I didn't find anymore the feeling and the motivation that I needed to go and to continue to keep on with this image making. I don't know. I was not satisfied. It was a very strange moment. I was not satisfied. The press it was a moment when documentary photography was starting to lose the importance in society they had in the past. Social media went it was a very important moment of transition in technology and everything. And
it was like 10 years ago or less?
Maybe less. It was I think like maybe 8 years ago. And then I met my wife, and she's a photographer and an artist, and so I kind of experiment at the first time my kind of curation on her work because she needed. And so at that time I decided, okay, I can go on something else and I can pursue on this. It's nice. It's a strange story.
So you discover this new job with your wife, and you have been working as a freelancer and joined Hearst in 2019, starting as image director at Esquire magazine and then as creative and art director at Hearst. Can you explain what was your work at Esquire and what was the vision beyond tint and the evolution?
I started as a freelancer, so it was like different projects. I started to curating and conceptualizing things in my journey, and then it's always a matter of the person you meet in a way, and they see something on you, and they help you in becoming something else. So Esquire was launching the magazine in Italy, the Italian edition of the magazine, and we brought a team together. There was Studio Temp. They were making the art direction of the magazine, and I was in charge of the image direction. And then I met another person, Alan Prada, who's now the creative and image officer of Armani, and he was my editor-in-chief, and he gave me the freedom and the opportunity to express my vision at the beginning as an art director for the magazine. And then we changed again the direction. So it was Massimo Russo, who's now the...
And what was the vision, so at the beginning, and then the evolution?
At the beginning, I was just dealing with photography. And so it was like more conceptualizing things and translate them into photography. When I got from Massimo the charge of the creative direction, is much more a larger thing. So you have to deal about, of course, the visuals, but it's also graphic design, the whole direction of the magazine in a way, because you have to be in charge of fashion, to be in charge of the whole direction, the graphic design, photography, and yeah, it became like a larger thing. And yeah, I was very happy to be trusted on my vision, because it's every time it's difficult, to find someone that trusts you, and I was lucky.
This mission was a full-time?
Yeah, it was full-time, because it's it's a huge thing. You have to think about the magazine, go to print, social media, digital events. You need to shootings, fashion. So it's a lot of work. It's like a daily thing, of course. And
maybe we can go in more details about this all these roles. Like I think for those who are unfamiliar with this profession, could you describe the role as a creative and art director, perhaps with one magazine, like maybe describe like your role and all the steps?
Yeah. I can say which is my vision of that. And I think it's kind of a curator. In a way, you have to conceptualize things, for sure. Everything starts from an idea, from a lot of research, from a lot of, more or less it's about research. And then the most important thing, and you have to make it practice. You have to make it real. And you have to decide for, which team you will work with. You need to... It's difficult. It's a lot of things. It's difficult to summarize it, but yeah, you need to choose the photographer for the right project. You need to choose the stylist, the makeup, the hair, everything, because you need to go really from the concept to practice. And the most important thing for me is to follow my vision, my interests, and my interests are about technology and image and technology. So and contamination as well of languages, contemporary languages. So you have a brand which is an incubator. Could be a magazine, could be a fashion brand, could be, I don't know, like a museum. They are all incubators of different languages and different ideas, and you have to translate into practice in the more concrete and more right direction you can find. And yeah, in the end, you also need to take money there, because
How do you find your inspiration?
I do a lot of research, and I try to work with the best persons I can meet and I can hire. Of course, as a creative director, you need to build your team. I work with a lot of different photographers. Many of them are French, some Americans, some from all over the world, actually. And this is very important because it's not just me. It's a teamwork every time, every project. It's a teamwork, and you need to find the right person for the right job. And it's the most difficult thing, I think, but yeah.
So you need to travel, like to work with all these people?
I traveled a lot, yeah. I needed to meet and to know the persons to translate, again, concept into practice. And going back to inspirations, they are from daily life, from what I see from the streets, to a lot of research, again, artists, this kind of relationship between the real and the digital, internet, technology, and the real world, how internet and technology more in general impact on ourselves. This is my kind of direction. I'm doing research since many years, and that's it.
So, and who are the other people who work with you? So it's your creative team. So with the photographers, stylists, but in the rest of the magazine, can we just have a white picture of the other people who are working with?
Yeah, working with magazines, it's you have a really large bunch of different projects. You start from celebrities to I don't know, like watches, going through fashion in between, and it's like the difficult part and the most interesting part also is making everything coherent between this themselves. And so when you build this team, you're able to make this coherent again. And I mean, my whole work and at the magazine, when I was at Esquire, it was about contamination. So if I have celebrities to shoot, I wanted to make different from the others. I want to make contrast. I want to make people surprised. I want to make people have a think about it. I don't want to make just a normal commercial thing. I want something that has a soul, has a feeling, and even if the people doesn't read the magazine but just have a look at the visual, he can feel that something is going on.
And how do you manage to? Because you have your own vision, but how do you manage to bring all the people in your team to understand and to follow your own vision? Like, how do you do?
Again, it's not just my vision. It's every time it's a teamwork, and my vision gets contaminated from others' vision, and it's a discourse between people. And that's the beautiful thing about this kind of job, because you are not alone. You can't be alone, because you cannot be a photographer, a stylist, and all a team in one person. It's every time it's a teamwork, and I was lucky to find the right people to work with. And to give an example to the people that is not confident with this kind of things, when you have to do a fashion shoot, for example, it's a process of different inputs and different ideas, and really a conversation between the creative and the photographer or the stylist or another director maybe, who can do the project with you. And it's really a teamwork, and it's amazingly beautiful.
From your experience viewpoint, what notable advancement have you witnessed in photography since you started working in the industry? Yes, I know it's a big question, but
that's a big question.
It's really from your own point of view. We are not in a historical approach. It's really from your professional approach of this industry.
I think we are kind of in a crisis for photographers and for photography as well, and more in general, because at some point the problem are the platforms, and again the social media in a way impacted a lot on the photographer aesthetics, and it's difficult now for a photographer to be confident about his work or her work or them work, but it's what I saw is more or less also as my practice, contamination. So maybe now it's not just about photography, but it's about, I don't know, photography and AI, photography and new media, photography and filmography. So it's maybe photography itself now, it's difficult to keep it pure. While in the past it was like more or less photographers, more time and everything. There was photographers were luckier, I think.
So now you think photography is always mixed with...
No, not always, for sure. And I'm very happy when I found a project just about photography. But I think photography for survive should be open to contamination with other arts. I think it's normal. I think it's for films, for filmography is the same, cinematography for different art. I think now photography has to be considered more like as an incubator of different languages. I think it.
Yes, it's really interesting, and I think it's also maybe linked to a thing like because when I speak with some people, a thing with really like in the mood is like photographers now they don't always say I'm photographer. Sometimes they say I'm a activist or I'm so most of the time they don't define themselves with the medium, but more with a subject, with engagement or with
Yeah, it's interesting. I think maybe we will understand this process, I don't know, in 10 years. Now we are really in the middle of a changing of a practice, but still it's complicated to summarize in just few words, in just I don't know, like 5 minutes of conversation. It's a huge speech about photography, but still I think the amazing thing that photography has, and all the photographer has to remember, the sensations that the pictures can give you, it's something that anything else can give you. So in a way, it's important to say that this kind of contamination of languages and evolution of photography with other medias, but on another place, it's important to say also that photography still needs to be present in our world for like visualizing it in the most proper way.
My last question is in two parts. Do you have advice for people who want to be a creative and art director from your own journey? And the second part is, do you have advice for photographers? But really from your own point of view, because I think you are in touch with a lot of people, so it's
Yeah, I think for both of them, like the fil rouge is trust your vision again and trust your taste, because there's a lot of people in these jobs, but if you are aware of your taste and your research and your concepts, ideas, then you just need to translate them into reality. And I think it's just a matter of time, a lot of patience, a lot of struggling, because it's not easy. I was very lucky on my personal journey to find the right place. But again, also for me, it's evolving and changing. I don't know, but yeah, it's just takes time. And for photographers, the most important thing, I think, it's stories, concepts, and yeah, translate them into the proper way, aesthetically and visually, and don't be too critical about their work, because at some point the artists or the photographers, they look at the work and as I said on myself, and they're not satisfied, and they see the work of the others and they say, oh wow, and they try to copy it, and that's not good, and that's not the proper way to become a real voice in photography. You have to be confident, and you have to trust your voice. You have to be honest with yourself every day, every hour, and every second, and you need to trust you in a way, and to be open to other people, to meetings, encounters, and yeah, you need to be open to the world in a way.
Thank you, Emanuele. Thank you for this conversation, and thank you to invite me to your studio today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Les Voix de la Photo. In the notes of this episode, you will find a sign-up link to receive the Voix de la Photo newsletter. Sorry, it's in French, at least for now. Every 2 weeks, you will get a summary of the latest episode, exclusive content, my recommendation for reading, exhibitions or conferences, and sometimes even gifts. Also, to help spread the word about the podcast, I'll invite you to leave a comment and 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you want to share your thoughts, suggest people you would like to hear, or learn more, you can follow me on social media, on Instagram, LinkedIn and Facebook. See you soon!